9 tot 11. Dis Anri Powell en ek kuier hier vanuit die Kaapse Kansel Ateljee en ek gaan jou na my Facebookblad toe onmiddellik stuur. 729 Kaapse Kansel Facebookblad. There you can see the beautiful and bubbly and gorgeous, amazing person that's with me in the studio this morning, Bianca Edwards. Good morning, Bianca. Wait, let's try that again. Good morning, Bianca.
Good morning.
There we
my
are.
Goodness,
Yes.
I can hear myself.
Are you well?
I'm so fantastic. Thank you so much for having me.
Yeah,
I'm so excited to be here.
Yeah, amazing to have you with me. It's always nice. My show in Afrikaans always ends with dis lekker om 'n mens te wees, maar dan moet jy 'n lekker mens wees. And you are a lekker mens, Bianca. Yeah, bubbly.
Ek is baie Engels though. Hey?
Yeah.
I think it's what they call a soti. I'm a typical soti.
Yes.
Very English, but I'm trying with Afrikaans, ne? So just give me a chance here today, guys.
No, definitely. I'm going to introduce Bianca to you quickly. Not just is she a mother of two beautiful young children, a mom, a sister, a wife of the new chosen lead singer, Prime Circle lead singer, Gavin Edwards. Yes, but she's a businesswoman, and above all of that, you are a woman of God.
Yes,
and
first and foremost,
and definitely unapologetic about it.
100%, and nothing holding me back from me and my father upstairs. Very proud.
Bianca, in a nutshell, just to introduce yourself, actually, just give us a little bit of background. Where do you come from? Who is Bianca Edwards?
Oh my goodness. I think from an outsider's perspective, a lot of people would always say like I'm a breath of fresh air and I'm energetic, vivacious, tenacious, all those things. But I think realistically, deep down, besides all the amazing titles of like being a mom, being a wife, being a business owner, I had actually an ACE Adults workshop yesterday, and I said, what do you like about yourself? And they're like, I love being a mom. And I was like, that's a title. And I said, what I like about myself is my grit for life. So who I am is that person who just enjoys life. I want to live every second of every moment joyously. I want to push my limits. I'm the type of person that wants to go out, make things happen. I want to fail. I want to grow. I want to cry. I want to smile. And I think that's who I am in a nutshell. I'm the type of person that wants to go out and make things happen. I love life to the fullest. I want to create opportunities for other people around me all the time. I'm just a go-getter in a nutshell. Also, I own Ace Models, Durbanville. I'm the director for that, which is a model academy. So teaching kids confidence and primarily to be bold. I always turn around and say that it's not just about modeling, but it's about molding. That's kind of like my to-go. For me, I'm also international model scout. So being in the modeling industry is kind of what I do for my full-time work. I've been in the modeling industry since I was about 2 years old. My mom put me into modeling schools when I was a child, the etiquette schools. I grew up doing modeling myself, traveling a bit of the world doing that too. So that's a little bit in a nutshell about me.
Yeah, and I think, Bianca, life has thrown so many things to you like it is with everyone.
Yeah.
And from that space, creating and making a platform for young people to really understand that life is tough out there. And it's not always the glamorous side, because people look at modeling and people look at the fashion industry, and they sometimes have such a misperception about
100%. The misperception on the modeling industry is quite large. I still get it to this day. I kind of sometimes don't tell people what I do, because the first thing they want to do is show me all their beautiful children. Is my daughter or my son or my aunt's cousin's niece's uncle, and it goes way back, and I'm like, okay. But then the second thing is like, oh wow, would you really put children in that position, and why not? I think to myself that that's where resilience is made. If those of you who have been in the industry or have not been in the industry, I say give it a shot. This is where children learn rejection. I mean, a lot of the models that I know, or being in the industry myself, you're going to castings, you're being rejected a lot. You hear no more times than you'll ever hear yes. And there's a humbling sense of knowing oneself when you're tested through those trials. And that's what I love about the industry. Even if you're in the pageant industry, you are tested when you don't make that crown or that first runner-up or that second runner-up. And it's this ongoing mindset of keep going. So yes, it's glamorous in some perspectives, perspectives, but some of the people that I've met in my walk of life in the modeling industry is some of the hardest working people I've ever met in my life, including the children that I teach, watching them set audacious goals for themselves. It's unreal. And I think that's what the modeling industry is so great about, is that you can do it from a young age. Not many industries, you can't be the CEO of a tech company technically at 2 or 3, but modeling welcomes all ages. And I think that's what's really cool about it.
Yeah. Bianca, before we go into the whole modeling side and the
Yes.
whole academy that you have and started a while ago and now changed the name
Yes.
recently. Before we go to that, first let's move a little bit to being the lead singer of Prime Circle's wife.
I know.
How does these worlds fit into each other? Because I do think a lot of people look at it and go, wow, it's this rock star world.
Yes.
How do you put Jesus still in that?
Yes.
I think a lot of people are struggling with it.
Yes.
With really focusing on how can you separate those worlds from each other.
First and foremost, I think God calls us to be not in the world, but not of the world. So I see myself as a soldier of God, and I think my husband, and I can speak on his behalf, he sees himself the same way. And it's almost like our ministries in a way. And the reason why I know for a shadow of a doubt it's ministries is because the resistance for us to want to do these sometimes is hard for us, going, okay, we want to follow Jesus. He's number one in our lives. Like, Lord, is this your will? We check in with our heart all the time. What is the motive behind it? Is it because of fame? Is it because of money? Is it because of attention seeking? Whatever it may be. And we sit and we dissect our hearts a lot, myself and my husband, and God opens these doors. We've tried many times to shut it. My husband ended up, shutting down his music career 4 years ago. He focused on maintenance. We had a maintenance company, and God had other plans. So he decided this opportunity came up with Prime Circle, and he decided, okay, he looked at me and he's like, are we doing this? And I was like, how can we not?
Yeah.
You spent 25 years building up your career, and this is what we've been waiting for. And it helps knowing that most of the band members are also faith-driven as well, which is great. So everything is centered around God. When we hear things like, when they go out and they go and do their radio interviews themselves, we get this amazing feedback, and the band gets this amazing feedback. And, it's always, the glory always comes back to God. So to be the wife of a rock star, you know what? I said to my husband, you can be very lucky that I am so vivacious myself, because I am literally the shadow of my husband, but I love being there. I will be in the shadow of my husband for the rest of my life. And I say it like that, and it comes across harsh, but it's not, because, I cast my own sunlight as well. I cast my own sunshine. So I don't ever feel in the shadow of my husband. I feel that it is a duty and a privilege to watch him shine, because he's shining and I'm shining, and we love what we both do, and we support each other. And I think because we put God first, it's like a little triangle: God first, then husband, then wife, and that ends up being a trilogy for us. And I think that's what the harmony is in our marriage, is that we're both happy doing what we do.
Yeah.
They say happy wife, happy life, but I swear the happier your husband is, the happier you are.
Yeah,
and seeing him doing what he loves, and knowing that Jesus is with him all the way, and that is the most important backing that you want in life. That investment from Jesus, that's what I call it, is if Jesus invests in you, you're set. You just need to let go and believe.
Yeah, I love that you said, you've tried to close a few doors in your life, but then it comes that way again. And that's especially, we need to be the disciples, even if it is on a rock star stage.
Yes.
Where you, where by the way you live, because I always say you might be sometimes the only Bible that someone reads is how you live, how you treat people, how you, go around with people. So, and I think in that space, Bianca, moving over to, in this space where you are working with children, being a mom yourself, being a wife, competed in beauty pageants before Mrs. South Africa, the lessons that you've learned there, to bring that over as a mentor, because I do feel that is what you guys are mentors in this space where you can really help people. And not teachers. I think teachers are something different. Mentors, there's so much need for mentors. How do you, the lessons that you've learned, how do you bring it over to the children that you are working with?
I think the most important thing is being authentic to who you are deep down. I think it took me a lot of time to understand what that really means. So it's like, and I love how you say teacher versus a mentor. Like when I think about a teacher, because I always thought, maybe I am, I'm a teacher, but I'm not. A teacher teaches, a mentor becomes it. So you practice what you preach consistently. So I find myself in positions very uncomfortably going on radio stations, going on TV shows, going in pageants, doing the things myself so that I can show my kids that they can do it themselves too. So I think from the practices that I've been like, everything that I've learned, I do. I become, so that it's a visible thing. Like you say, sometimes you're somebody else's Bible. It's like if you are doing the work yourself, it's so much easier than to correct or give constructive criticism to the children that I spend my time with mentoring and challenging, because then I know that I've got the evidence to back it up. I've been in your position. I know how you felt. I've seen it. I've failed. I've hurt. I've gone through that myself. So I can then mentor from a perspective of experience instead of just learning something and repeating it. I've actually now experienced and gone through that journey myself. And I think that there's a relatability-ness to it. So it's like the kids can feel safe because they know that I too have been in that position. So I think taking what you're learning and then doing it yourself plays a big role in them going, okay, if she's done it, I can do it too. So
Bianca, we were talking about with the breakfast team this morning, and they were talking about, especially in this time, this whole week, where we are moving towards from Palm Sunday to the resurrection and the cross, and just moving into that space. And they asked me, what did I have to surrender before God? Even if it's a talent, even if it is something great. And I said I had to surrender my kids because I was always, in such a place where I felt I need to have my kids with me, and I needed to surrender that back to God because we are just actually servants of, taking them. Is there anything that you would like to share with us that you had to surrender maybe, in this time, moving forward, going onto your own, into your school,
before last year, I actually had a business partner, a beautiful business partner. We had a 5.5-year business relationship. It was absolutely amazing. We were Ace Models Cape Town North. And I heard a word from God, which was that it was time to go separate ways. And when you hear something like that, and it's very hard if you're not a believer, because you'll be like, you heard from God, what is this? Meantime, you know the voice when you spend time with the word, and his voice very clearly. It's very familiar, and it's normally resistance. When you're resistant to do something, normally know is you don't want to do it. Normally that's God, And I heard the word that it was time to do something that I think only God knew. The first thing I said to him is, what is the plan? Am I removing myself completely from this industry? Are we finished now? What are we done with? And he's like, just do what I ask. Be disciplined. Just do this moment for me, and I'll reveal the rest of the plans for you. And he did. He honored his word. When I had the courage enough to speak to her about what I was told, and I was open about it with her, immediately the Lord downloaded the plans on what it is moving forwards that we would do. Not all of them, not the whole full package, but he gave me quite an in-depth detail. So for me, I think what I've learned is obedience to the word of God. It's not easy.
No, never.
Where there is fear and resistance, it's a green flag. I want to tell people out there that sometimes people think that fear is such a red flag, but nowhere in the Word of God do I feel that fear is something that needs to be rebuked fully. I think he says, when I walk through the shadow of the valley of death, I walk with you and with my staff. He never ever says that you mustn't face the fear. He doesn't say, let's go climb the mountain around the other corner. He says, I'm there with you. I will walk through there with you. So remember, fear is a guideline of where you should most likely end up going. For me, I've learned that where my resistance is, where I don't want to have to be, sometimes I'm like scared and I'm fearless. I'm like, Lord, this is bigger than I am, and I don't think I can, move into this space. It's where the Lord shows up for you and he says to you, okay, I'm here with you. Trust me, let go. So I'm in that space of surrendering and not having my fixed ideas on what it is I think I should be doing in business, and what I think I should be doing as a mother, what I think I should be doing as a rock star wife. I'm just being at this point in my life. I'm being and I'm doing. So that's where I'm surrendering.
Let's move a bit to Ace Models Durban, Durbanville. My listeners also know I've got a huge passion for Ace Models because I'm also part of the brand. But tell us about your journey and the plans for Ace Models Durbanville. A lot of things happened the past 2 weeks already.
I know. It's been crazy.
Yeah.
I originally wanted to remove myself from Ace Models Cape Town North in the sense because I actually originally wanted to keep my studio, my academy small. I wanted to focus on my children. You know, I had one of those revelations that this is probably where God wanted me to be, you know. And that didn't end up that way. I ended up signing a year contract with a studio, which I was very excited to be in. Everything started growing. Eventually, I was like, cool, 40 models would be great. And then 50 came, then 60 came. Now I'm like closing on to the 70. I was like, okay, Lord, what are you doing here?
And this is not small.
No. And for one person, there's a lot to take on when you've really
Yeah.
got so much going on. And then all of a sudden, I was told, you know, I can't be in my studio no longer. And I was like, Lord, what are you doing here? You know, like I came out from a very uncomfortable year. The previous year, 2023, was a very hard year for me. So I was like, we're going, like everything's starting to go well. Like, what is this? This wasn't part of the plan. And I searched every single, you know, studio possible in my area, you know, where, what, how. And eventually I landed on this commercial property that I ended up getting for next to nothing. Was just by the grace of God. I met the owner of the entire building, let alone through an agent or a renting agent. Like the Lord gave me a divine appointment with the owner of the building.
Wow.
And we discussed things. I poured my heart out, said, I just need someone to take a chance on me. And now currently I'm renovating my own studio.
Oh, wow.
I'm having a big open day at a big mall that I was never expecting to do as well. I was on Espresso Show this morning. I'm here with you. It just, in the last 2 weeks, I can't tell you how God has gone, girl, let's get ready.
Yeah.
So the plan was to stay small. It really was. That was my intentions. But, you know, that's where, you know, when you're resistant and you're like, why? Is where God is saying, just trust me. This is bigger than you.
Yeah.
It's very humbling. I must say, I've the last 2 weeks I've been very humbled because I'm doing things that I've never done before. And when you are a small fish in a big pond, you quickly learn that you can just enjoy being that small fish, learn from the other little fishies that are all in the big pond, you know. And I think sometimes being the person in the room asking the questions is the best place to be because that's where you're learning the most. And I think that's the position I'm finding myself a lot in lately.
Awesome. Now, Bianca, I think before we started ending off, because everyone knows I've got 6 interviews, and I have short. I would love to visit for you or let you, you know, care with me for this whole 2 hours of my show.
Yes.
But you know, if people want to know more about Ace Models Durbanville,
Yes.
what is the best way to contact you to find out about the open day that's
Yes.
coming up now on the 6th?
Yes,
right?
6th of April, guys.
Yeah.
Come join us. We're going to be in an amazing mall. You can see all the details and the times. There's going to be a big giveaway as well, 10,000 Rand worth of giveaways. You can check us out on Instagram, TikTok, and Facebook. It's very easy. Ace Models Durbanville. Just type that in. You can email me on durbanville@acemodels.co.za or go onto Ace Models International website, which is acemodelsinternational.co, and you can search for Durbanville underneath the about us section. So that's how you can contact me, find out all the information. Come down, check us out, come ask questions, bring anyone between the ages of 6 and 24. We're going to be celebrating and getting new models to join us. It's exciting.
And that's on the 6th of
6th
April.
of April.
Yes, the day before my birthday, listeners. Remember that?
You better send her beautiful gifts, guys.
Yeah. So, Bianca, we are so
Thank you.
excited for your journey.
Yes.
And you know how, because I've been walking this road with you
Yes.
also now for a while, and just, you know, hearing how God has intervened and talked, and you cannot do this if you just not going to be able to be listening.
Yes.
And like you said, to be obedient,
Yes.
and you need to know the voice.
Yes.
That's so important for me.
I
You
think
know,
it's
you
very
can't
important.
hear the voice if you don't recognize the voice.
Yes, or spend time with
Yeah.
him. You know, the closer we build the relationship with God, the easier it is to understand what he sounds like. And I think that's really important too.
Bianca, any final message out there for the listeners today?
Just be yourself. Whatever situation you're facing, just trust God. I think the closer we get to him, the more we know who we are. And so spend your time in your word. Listen to your Bible app. Just talk to him. When you can't find the time, just be in the car. Have conversations with him. He is your father. And my mother-in-law always said to me, your father will always provide for you and he will always provide for himself. So if he's got a plan for your life, he'll provide for himself. He'll never let himself down and he will never let you down because you're his child.
Amazing. You
Thank
can catch
you.
our interview on the Facebook page as well. You can send that on if you want to send it on. And also on our podcast, you can listen to Bianca Edwards. And go and follow her. Go and follow the Durbanville Ace Models Durbanville branch. Go and check it out. And yeah, a studio next, in your area, close to your area. And thank you so much, Bianca,
you.
for opening up your heart
Yeah.
and just chatting with us today.
Thank
May
you.
God bless you on this journey. May you also have
Amen.
a fantastic Easter weekend.
Thank you, you too.
Yeah, where we
Yeah.
can just remember the reason for this season. And yeah, a lot can change
Can.
in 1 week.
Yes.
And I mean, I think you live that every
Yeah.
single day. So
Thank
thank you
you.
so
Thank
much
you.
for being with me this morning. Bye-bye.
Bye.
That was Bianca Edwards. Go and check out our Facebook page. And yeah, this is just so amazing to know that, we can just live and let God, take our hands and lead us. We don't have to have all the answers. We don't have to have the whole plan in front of us. We just need to trust. Be still and know that I am God. We are listening to Francine Scott, Koninkryk van Beton. En ek's nou weer terug by jou.